Okay, when you get to the point where you're ready to add color, the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure your important lines don't get covered up, especially if you're going to paint this. So what I'm going to do is I'm taking a black crayon. I'm going to trace over my lines that are important. The lines that show my shape, those are important. Now I want the line to be thick and heavy. I want to change the quality of the line that I have from what the pencil's showing us. So if I just lightly press on there and go over it, it's not really going to change. So you guys can tell I'm pressing kind of hard with this. I'm using a black crayon. You can actually choose whatever color you want. So if you look at more of Keith Haring's work, you'll notice that he used different colors for his outlines sometimes. The only thing I would recommend when you're choosing your colors is I would choose one that will cover up the pencil line. So if you went with something like yellow, that might be a good bright color. Maybe you could use that on your background or to fill in your person, but if you use it to cover up your pencil lines, they're still going to show through. That might not be something you want people to see. So then these lines are important as well. I don't want those getting covered up if I'm going to paint my background later. Now, in our first class, we talked about a suggested art list, or art supply list, I should say. So with that, you might not have some of the supplies that you normally have access to here in the art room. So something you could do, let's say I want to make my person look like they're red. Well, I could color it in with a marker, I could color it in with crayons or color pencil. A way that you can use these water-based markers, it says washable, so I know that it's water-based ink. If I put some color in here, I can actually turn this into paint, but I need to go about halfway. So the nice thing is this will conserve your supplies because you don't have to sit here coloring the whole thing in, so it won't take as long if you turn it into paint. Plus, you won't run out of markers because you won't be filling stuff in so much with them. So your markers will last you a lot longer too. So before I sit here, I'm not going to fill in everything. I've done sort of a thick outline. If I take a paintbrush, which I have a bucket of water nearby, I'm going to slide that over so you guys can see it. Tap out my brush, run it over the edge of the bucket 2 times so I keep some water in there. When I touch it to the water-based ink, you guys can see how it starts to move around and I'm able to use it like paint. If you don't think you have enough on there, then of course you can go back and you could add some more, but don't add it on top of where it's wet. I would need to add it down here where it's kind of dry already. I want to try to get rid of the line where I see that the red ink stops and fade that in to my other colors or blend it in. So obviously where I put more red, it's getting a little darker. Where I put less red, it's getting a little lighter. So after this, you don't want to ignore your background. That's part of your artwork too. So of course, again, you could paint the background. You could do the marker trick that I just showed you. Color pencils or crayons would work. Something I like about this too is that it sort of gives almost a 3D effect because you have the part where the color's darker, but then it fades and it turns lighter. All right, guys, I look forward to seeing what you send me in your finished images.